It is. It's not a shoot.
No. I mean,
Okay.
it's no. The way they described it is MMA inspired pro wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, because when you were saying, oh, it's a MMA guy who started it, it's MMA. I'm like, but it
Well,
looks like
it's presented as MMA.
yeah. Okay, cool. I dig it. I like that kind of take on pro wrestling. And yeah, that Coda fucking whooped the shit out of him there at the end. But I was like, huh, looks a lot like pro wrestling and not much like MMA. But it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Here we go. Let me do this thing. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Good shoot. Oh, what is going on? We got DDJ here with us, the 5-star trivia machine. We got Shane. He's gonna drink Four Loko.
Yeah, later. Point. Not now.
Four Loko later.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we're just here. We're here to talk about pro wrestling, some Wrestlemania stuff. Oh shit! What is happening? The following contest. Is DDJ? You watching TV?
Yeah. I've got the kickoff show on my TV, so I didn't realize the sound was still carrying over.
I was like, huh?
The kickoff show for Mania?
Yeah.
Well, what Mania starts at 8, right? Is it 2-hour pre-show?
Yep.
Okay. Damn. Jesus.
Oh shit. All right.
Or is it 7? I read somewhere that it was 7:30. I don't know.
7:30, but it's 7:30 is the official start time, but I think it's going to be a half hour of nonsense, I'm sure. But who knows? Anyway, DDJ, are you drinking anything at the moment? Are you just are you sober living right now?
I'm sober right now because I'm actually going to be stepping out for a little bit later this evening with the missus to go do an adult Easter egg hunt. So.
Oh shit! What kind of adult shit do they put in the Easter eggs?
I'll find out in a couple hours.
Probably little airplane bottles.
Oh yeah, I was thinking like big eggs with fucking, like pocket pussies and.
No,
it's not that kind of adult egg hunt.
Hello, Father.
That's too bad.
WrestleMania beer pong. Facebook user, identify yourself.
Yeah, I wonder how that works. We should establish some rules for drinking this evening for the.
I'm drinking Four Loko.
Wait. When have there ever been rules when it comes to drinking with you guys?
I don't know. I guess
whenever we agree with Meltzer or each other.
Yeah, we do have a couple.
Fair enough.
We do have a couple. Oh, it's Hector.
What's up,
Hector? Hector, what's up, man? Yeah. WrestleMania beer pong. We can. I'm just gonna drink. I'm gonna skip the pong, go right to the beer. Yeah. So lots is going on in wrestling, right? There's a lot of shows happening this weekend that I haven't watched.
Have you looked at the list of shows that are happening like around LA?
I mean, it's got to be insane. I remember last year was fucking nuts. There was like 8 days straight of just crazy pro wrestling.
Yeah, I there's something like as far as the website that I looked at, there's something like 25 wrestling shows that are happening over the course of 4 days. And Speedball Mike Bailey is wrestling like 7 matches in 2 days.
Damn. You know what's interesting about this time of year is that like this is when you truly see just how just the gap between WWE and AEW in terms of like what they're capable of,
like the production values and stuff.
And just, I mean, you look at what Mania is, like what WrestleMania means to the wrestling community, and there's nothing that even comes close. There's no one, nowhere, like nothing. Like Wrestle Kingdom is like the closest thing, and that doesn't generate anywhere near the kind of like.
Well, I mean. Yeah, WrestleMania No More has created a mecca, right? It's a 4 to 5 day mecca. every year in whatever city WrestleMania is in, where just a ton of promotions. Like there's there's like a straight up Joshi wrestling company that's putting on like a straight up all Japanese card somewhere in LA. It was either yesterday or today. You've got like Circle Six, which is like a big death match promotion company. I don't think that's from LA, but they've got like, it might be, but they've got like 10 different like 3-match like death match specials that are going live on YouTube for the whole weekend at various times, and just all sorts of crazy shit.
It's really cool. It's really cool, like you guys were talking about, just what WrestleMania has become, because it's not just WrestleMania. It's just a celebration of professional wrestling in general. Like you mentioned, all the different promotions that run shows in the area now. It's just become like a gathering, and to me, I mean, you don't really see that like anywhere else. You don't see that with Major League Baseball come like say the World Series. You don't even see the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup. Hell, you don't even, the closest thing that you see to what we get as wrestling fans with this is the NFL and Super Bowl week, and even then, it's not even close.
No,
I mean the wealth of wrestling that happens, and especially with Fight TV and a lot of these streaming services, the wealth of wrestling that you can watch over the course of 4 days. I mean, I'm still trying to get through multiverse of matches with Impact and New Japan.
Yeah, and it's also just wild to think that like a wrestling company can draw that kind of, not only can they like sell out 60, 70, 80,000 seats, right, in an arena or whatever,
two nights,
but they can also draw in an additional like 50,000 fans to go to all these other shows, or sometimes it's a lot of the same fans, but still it's like it's an insane number of people to bring to one area for one.
I mean, Isaac, you do realize that if Mania happens, like we've kind of talked about, that you are the fan who's going to 1,000 wrestling shows, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I mean, when we go, that's Oof.
I mean, I'm gonna go to 1,000 wrestling shows,
but I wouldn't bother me as much as like trying to watch 1,000 wrestling shows on TV, right? Because like it's so much more interactive. Like going to a fucking shitty outlaw mud show is way more fun than trying to watch a fucking YouTube fucking
there's not much outlaw mud show shit that's actually happening in LA. I mean, most of it is.
I'm just saying in general, like the worst pro wrestling show is 1,000 times more fun live than it is trying to watch it on the screen.
Absolutely.
It makes all the difference in the world. Like even if like you go and have to watch, the Jericho Appreciation Society do slow-mo nonsense, like I'm sure it's fun while you're there, but trying to watch it is just terrible. It looks awful.
I still think that's pretty fun. But real quick, if if that happens, we have to go to the large gay brunch, huge gay brunch.
Yes, absolutely,
1,000,000%.
But we'll bring lots of signs. For our girl.
Yes, many signs. But honestly, boys, I think we have quite a bit to talk about. It'd probably be advantageous to hop right into the co-main event, which is Road Wild 1998.
All right, let's talk Road Wild 1998. This pay-per-view, let's see here. It took place August 8th out of Sturgis. There was about 8,500 people in attendance. No one paid to go. It was literally
it's probably a good thing they didn't pay.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally just like these guys wanted to go to Sturgis, so they're like, let's do a show there and make Ted Turner pay for our trip. Which, good on Bischoff for pulling it off.
Well, I'm sure that they received compensation, in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Well, it starts off with Meng versus the Barbarian. Barbarian had Jimmy Hart in his corner. And then who the fuck ran out for Meng? Someone did a run in.
Was it?
But I can't even remember because I watched it like a week or so ago. But it was a shitty match. Nothing really happened. It was boring.
Yeah, it was slow.
There was a lot of
plotting.
there was a lot of them headbutting each other and not doing anything because they're still like the the Tongan warrior gimmick or whatever. Then yeah, he fucking what was it? Meng wins, and then Jimmy Hart starts like hitting him in the back, and he just like
Oh,
no
it was
sells it.
Jim Duggan.
Yeah, it was Hacksaw, right? Because he came and smoked him with the fucking board.
Yeah, the 2x4.
Yeah, yeah, very weird. Didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, slow plotting nonsense.
Yeah,
1
there
out of
was
5.
yeah, wow, you give it the 1. It was
I mean,
barely 5 minutes. It was a half a star. It was just not good. There was nothing good to it. There was nothing.
Yeah,
It was
I'm gonna
pretty
go
bad.
like half a star as well too, because I mean, I like Ming. Ming's always been someone that I've liked. I mean, he's scary as hell and shit, but it's just there was nothing really to talk about this on this match.
The Barbarian. God damn, man. He was a head shrinker at one point, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah, so that was really bad.
Speaking
Meltzer
of really bad.
Meltzer gave it a 0. He gave it a dud.
Wow, just a straight up 0
Straight up dud from Meltzer,
from Melts.
which is the 4th worst score of the night.
A dud was the 4th worst score of the night. Wow.
There are 3 that are worse. Which I guess isn't shocking considering this but yeah, this next one was an interesting match. It was Public Enemy with Rocco Rock and Johnny Grunge going against the Dancing Fools of Disco Inferno and Alex Wright. Disco Inferno sucks. Alex Wright, like there was something about Alex Wright that was like he at least had some fucking charisma and screen presence. Like
good,
and he was
good worker, bad gimmick.
Yeah,
I mean, really
exactly.
bad
Like,
gimmick.
like he was all right. Like he fucking, but goddamn, dude, Disco sucked.
Yes, this match was very bad.
It
like
was so boring. It's over 15 minutes. It's 15 and a half minutes.
Well, in as a concept, it doesn't make any sense because you start the match as it just being a normal like singles match. I think it's Disco, right? Who introduces like a trash can or something.
Was it a single or was it it was a tag match to start? And then
tag, I think.
Well, no. What I'm saying is it was just a standard match. Yeah.
And then tag team match.
Yeah, and then Disco introduces a weapon, and then they start using it, and the commentators are like, okay, well, I guess the competitors have just decided this is
and there was, and they talk about it. They're like, want to do a street fight? You want to do a street fight? And the referee's like, you want a street fight? And they ask the referee. The referee says, okay. Then Public Enemy leaves. They go back up and get more trash cans and kitchen sinks.
Well, this is after like 2 minutes worth of weapons use.
Like, but they do that, and then there's just like 10 minutes almost of them walking around outside the ring
and like going to the back,
trying to figure out ways to get like tables closer and closer to each other until they can have a stack of 4 tables, right?
Well, they go and they get like the kitchen sink too. Like Public Enemy leaves multiple times. While they're one or the other is getting double teamed.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, man.
And it's the shittiest of hardcore action, right? Like it's a bunch of like aluminum trash can lids and like real weak shots that just
cans,
just over and over. The commentary is shitting on it literally the entire time.
But and that's even when there is action, and there's a lot of like just them like Public Enemy wandering around the ring, Disco yelling, and then finally like they get out like after fucking it feels like forever they finally get out and they drag Disco up the do they have a ladder? They have a ladder set up, right? And then they go up the ladder and the scaffold thing, and then they fucking choke slam him or something.
No, elbow drop.
Oh, the elbow drop, that's right, through the fucking 4 tables, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, and it was definitely a more well executed spot than the 4-stack Canadian Destroyer from last night.
Yeah, Hector says prayers for Dante Martin, but he still love the Canadian Destroyer, which is the worst move in all of professional wrestling.
I mean that's egregious, but
it's terrible. You're right, it's egregious. So yeah, this match, at least I think that that move saved it probably from a 0 from me, and that was
but it's a
cool.
0.25.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think a 0.25 is about all it gets, but it was fucking. It went up. I gave it like, I don't know, 2.5 stars just for that spot. So I don't know, maybe my so yeah, 0.25.
It was going to break your scale up until it didn't.
Completely, yeah, completely. Like, what is happening?
It did nothing for me. I'll go just to be nice, just for that spot alone. I'll do a 0.25 as well.
We are awful close. We're gonna all have to drink at least. He gave this a -1.
Wow, yeah.
And that's probably not even the worst rating of the night, right?
Still not the worst rating of the night. Yep. But the next match was kind of fun. It was the 3-way between Saturn, Canyon, and Raven.
Ravens rules.
Ravens rules, of course. And what was the comment about what was like Johnny Grunge or something that fucking Bobby the Brain made about him? He's not here. He's like passed out on the garbage.
Yeah. And the last match, yeah, because he hits in the head with the trash can and trash falls. He's like, oh yeah, he's at home right now. Sleeping on the floor with trash.
Right.
Head hurts.
That's right. That's
Bobby
right.
Heenan was such a national treasure on commentary.
Oh, God,
especially in WCW, where he just didn't care. He was just
there was no one to
everything,
and there was no one to tell him no. No one in his ear, nothing. Yeah.
This match was, other than it was weirdly paced, right? You and I both thought the same thing independently of each other, Isaac, which is why is this match directly after the pseudo street fight? It made no sense.
Because this is another, street fight rule match, basically.
I mean, but also, again, most matches that Raven wrestled were Raven rules at the time, so that at least makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I like this one, honestly. I mean, you have a lot of talent, man. You have Canyon, who was way ahead of his time. You had Saturn, who was really one of the better, ring workers, just for what it was, especially in WCW at the time. And you had Raven, who's a great mind and a really good worker when, obviously when he wants to put in the work.
And Canyon, what a special wrestler.
Again, we watched this about 2 weeks ago, so I can't really remember a whole lot of the spots, but I remember them working together a ton and seeing some cool stuff. I liked the way that the wrestlers were smart in, agreeing to team. All three of them agreed to team with each other because of their past, and they all turned on each other.
Yep.
You at one point I remember you had Raven going, get him, Canyon, and then Canyon stands there for a second and thinks, and then he just gets Raven.
Raven's so good, so underrated.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing I remember about this match is how well it flowed. Right? How long was this? Probably 12 minutes.
This one was
just a little about 12 and a half minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it. And obviously it's not a long time, but it flowed well. Didn't overstay its welcome. They did a ton of fun stuff. They and there really wasn't a whole lot of weapon stuff either. They Ravens rules in this match was more used to like fight around the crowd. I remember, I think it was Saturn got hit with a couple pile drivers, maybe on the ramp, I believe. I don't know. For what it was, especially in the context of the show, it was pretty good. I like it enough to give it a 2.5 with a thumbs up.
Okay. Yeah, I think two. I was thinking 2. I was going 2 on that one.
I think 2 is a little harsh, man. Honestly, I mean, you rate it whatever you want, but
I'm like I said, I just mentioned how I love Raven. I think he's underrated and stuff, and just all three of those guys at that time were so good. I'll give it 2.75.
Okay, I'll go 2.25 then.
We better hope Meltzer doesn't rate it a 2 or a 3, or else we're in real trouble. I'm gonna preemptively take a drink of my beer in case that's the case.
1.75.
Wow.
He was just in a real bad mood.
Maybe.
Hard
See,
not.
I'm looking back to see if I had messaged about anything in this this match, and all I said is I just hate the Ravens rules shit every damn match. That was the only comment I had, so I can't really go too high. Yeah. Okay, so what is next? We have Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis in a match that was better than the one previous to it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's
Ray,
not a.
I could watch Rey Mysterio.
Go ahead, DDJ.
I was just gonna say I could watch Rey Mysterio and Psychosis every day and be happy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The worst thing about this match was the crowd, and the crowd was just so uninterested in I mean, really by far the best match, you know, of the night up until this point.
It's
Yeah.
just when you know, and it's basically kind of like, you know, the days of Impact, you know, TNA being in the Impact Zone in Orlando. A lot of those people it showed just it was free. You know, they're not wrestling fans. A lot of these bikers probably weren't wrestling fans, so they the kind of stuff was probably lost on.
Oh, no, sure. DDJ, you are roboting out, my friend, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean my thing with that is that it's like the crowd was like, you know, they were mad, they, you know, but like there was a guy wearing a Nazi SS shirt in the crowd, you know, they're not really all that excited about the
Yeah,
Mexicans wrestling, you know what I
sure.
mean?
Sure.
So yeah, maybe not the right crowd, but
That's
a great
true.
match. And one of the comments I just remembered that I said is that like both Rey Mysterio and Charles Robinson look the same. Those motherfuckers haven't aged a bit. Goddamn. Looking good, man. Looking good, guys. Incredible. And yeah, and Ray, I mean, what can you say about it? He moves so well still. I'm excited to see his match against
Tonight?
Is that tonight? I don't even
Yes.
know. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
in a
Ray
minute.
and
But
Don
yeah,
are night one.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to it all, man. I think it's gonna be good. But yeah, that was 275 for me. One of the best matches of the night.
That's also low, man. Yeah, I don't think that there was anything you know, necessarily outstanding about this match. I mean, they did some fun stuff with the with like the ring setup, right? Because the ring is on like a wooden platform and then there's ground below
Yeah, it's like
it.
an elevated
Yeah.
stage.
I mean, you know, it makes sense obviously, you know, where they were at. They're in a fucking plane on a mountain or some shit. But yeah, no, I mean this was just the typical smooth you know, high flying stuff you would expect from Ray and you know, Psychosis at this point. You know, Ray gets a big win at the end, right, with the West Coast pop, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and commentary did a really good job of putting over, you know, the fact that these men are fighting for a shot at the cruiserweight title. So, you know, in that way, they did give the match a little gravity, especially given the crowd, you know, being very blasé towards it. You know, at this point, that the show was on an uptick, and I think I was feeling pretty good. Honestly, I'll give that probably a I don't know, 3.25.
All right. Damn. Yeah, man, you were feeling good.
I'll go 3 1/4 as well too, just because I mean, yeah, it was like I said, probably the most entertaining match of the night. But again, like I said, I don't think you get these two. I don't think it ever had a bad match.
Yeah. So next, what did we have? Oh wait, no wait. Do we need to Meltzer? Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself because I'm trying to remember when the crazy Steiner shit went down. Meltzer in the Rey Mysterio Psychosis, he gave it a 2. A 2.
A 2?
Meltzer gave it a 2.
Oh God, he probably would have given it a 6 stars if it was in the Tokyo Dome.
Should just had been an AEW match, he would have gone pretty high, I'm sure. I'm pretty surprised at that one. He gave it a 2.
Two's bad.
Two's bad. He was not the right.
Too bad.
Night number. Well, after that we go into Stevie Ray versus Chavo Guerrero Jr. This Shane loved this shit. Chavo.
Man, at this point, I was just losing my mind watching this. Chavo comes to the ring, riding a stick pony with pink hair.
Pepe.
Yeah, Pepe. Thank you. And he cuts about a 4-minute promo about how he hasn't signed the contract, or Stevie Ray hasn't signed the contract, or something like that. It has something to do with one or the other not doing the match. And then Stevie Ray comes out and Chavo runs away from him. And at first I was like, I kind of like this, Chavo, as far as his character at this point, which is he's, acting crazy or is crazy, with all of the Eddie stuff, him just running away and being a coward made sense. But he runs away for about a solid minute and a half, and then Stevie Ray gets his hands on him, whoops the shit out of him, kills him, pins him for a literal nothing match. Eddie comes out, and then Stevie
It
was
for the television championship.
Yeah, he was defending it for Booker T, I believe.
Yep. And then Eddie comes out, and Stevie Ray runs away from Eddie for some reason. The whole thing made no sense.
Literal
definition of a zero. It is a dud.
Wow, I thought you liked it because it was so funny.
Oh no, I was laughing at it. I was having fun, but like I can't even give it. What points can you give it? It did nothing for anybody.
The problem is like, do I go? There's one match that's like by far the worst match, probably one of the worst.
You can give that. A dud is a dud. It's a stinker.
But it's worse. But this was better than that.
But but was anything in this match as good as the table spot from? No, it's a dud, dude. It's a zero. Do it.
Damn it, dude. Okay, yep.
Yeah, I'm giving it a dud too because nothing. It was filler.
It's a good thing I've only got a quarter of a beer because Dave Meltzer gave this shit a 0.
He actually gave it a -1.
Oh.
Still not the worst rating of the night.
Still not the worst rating of the night. Which, as soon as I finish pouring my beer, I think we'll get to. So I think this is where we had the whole the Steiner brothers thing. Is that when the Steiner brothers thing happened?
I can't remember.
Who was it? It was supposed to be Steiners versus.
It was supposed to be Rick versus Scott.
Oh, okay, and then he was hurt, and there was a whole bunch of stupid shit.
Because remember, Buff Bagwell wheels him out on on the gurney, and there's this fucking hilarious exchange between Rick and JJ Dillon, because JJ Dillon is like, hey, you might not be able to compete, hey Scott, can you compete? And Scott's got
I don't think I can.
Mask on that's not connected to anything clearly. I think I can. And then Buff goes, well, I don't think he can, so he can't. Can you compete tonight, Scotty? Yeah, I think I can. And then, of course, it leads into JJ Dillon going, hey, we're going to have this match tonight. We're going to have it next pay-per-view, to which Scott is outraged, stands up, and runs away.
And the fans were pissed. That was like the first time they actually
the fans were so mad.
Mm-hmm.
They're
like, we wanted to see that.
The way Buff especially sold everything, I don't say much nice stuff about Buff Bagwell, but it was legitimately funny.
Very good bit. Which brings us to the next match, which is Mongo versus Brian Adams with Vincent Crush.
Crush with Virgil.
Yeah. Oh man.
boy, was this a Mongo match without anybody to work with him.
Yeah, god damn, dude. The worst thing I think it's one of the worst matches I've ever seen doing this shit. And we've seen some bad stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
long.
Oof.
Like, how long is
Yeah,
this match? 8-9 minutes?
not even. It feels
6.5.
Yeah, it's 6.5.
I have it up.
Feels
I have some stuff up on the show on my phone, but yeah, it's about 6.5 minutes.
6.5, and it's one of the worst matches I see. It was awful.
It's
I have
just
nothing
slow,
good to say about it.
plodding. Like, the meat wasn't even slapping meat. The meat was just bumping into meat because of how slow and clunky they were.
Tripping over each other.
Yeah, tripping and just everything. I mean, this was the definition of a bad idea pro wrestling.
One of the worst things ever.
You know, I'm not afraid to break my scale, and I hate to do this because Mongo, you know, is undergoing some serious health issues.
Yeah, it's nothing personal.
But it's, I mean,
great football player.
Yeah, my all-time favorite Chicago Bear.
It really is. Like, I mean, it's like a negative 0.5. I don't feel comfortable going -1 because, like, nobody got hurt or anything. So it's not like catastrophe struck. It's just a horrible match.
Yeah.
But
yeah, negative half star.
Isaac just broke his scale?
Yeah, it was terrible. It was one
first
of the worst
time ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to rest my beer for that.
Like I said, I said in the message, I don't think I've ever seen anything this bad.
I can't break my scale if it's because of the fact that me and my love for Mongo to Chicago Bears, but I'm still gonna give it a dud.
All right. Wow, this is a -2 from Meltzer.
Was that the worst of the one of the show?
Yep. It has to be.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that was terrible. Next we come to what is probably the best match of the night, in my opinion. Juventud versus Chris Jericho with Dean Malenko as the guest referee. And boy, oh boy, did these fucking fellas just tear it down, man.
Before you get into the match, you have to talk about the pre-match promo from.
Okay, go for it.
Jericho.
Go for it. You go for it, man. That's your shit right there,
man.
I mean, this. I mean, he was talking about driving a Honda.
Yeah. So Jericho comes out, and you know, he's talking about how, you know, and I was driving around Sturgis this morning, and as I was riding up the highway on my Honda motorcycle, you know, and the crowd just starts going. They're so mad immediately because he said a Honda motorcycle, and he just cuts this promo about how they all stink or whatever. And then he goes, making me the only real motorcyclist here today. I am the only real motorcyclist today.
Yep.
And the crowd is so mad. Mad.
Furious. It was great, man.
It was so
Jericho
funny.
was so good at that time. So good.
He's like, I want you to want me. Yeah. I just remember him doing that bit too. It's like, God,
I think my favorite still was, and I know you guys talked about the show recently, Slamboree, when he did all the ring introductions for the Cruiserweight Battle Royal.
Oh my God, dude. That shit was fucking hilarious.
Man, the man of 1,005 holds from around the same time.
1,004.
But what was damn, of course. So it was Jericho and
my favorite twink, Juventud Guerrera.
Yeah, I mean this was a slower paced cruiserweight bout than what you saw earlier with Ray and Psychosis. But the psychology was good. You had a ton of holds and things. And
they told a really good story.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get into is I normally don't like special guest referee matches simply because they're built to be based around the special guest referee and probably one of the people. I mean, but this one just made sense. You had you know, you had Dean, who was trying to call it fairly, and you know, he might have been a little physical, but he was physical with both men. You know, you had Jericho getting more and more frustrated with him up until he, what did he pie face him or something like that.
And at the end, throwing
Hoovy runs at Dean, and Dean just pops him up in the air, and Hoovy hits like a Hurricane Rana, right?
Which they fucking executed so well.
Yeah,
such a that. Man, that could have been a disaster.
Yeah.
And they just that was one of the things is like when they finally got to that and that the way they ended it. I mean, really, really well done. Perfect build on a match. This is my match of the night for sure. Easy.
No,
three and a half stars.
Yeah, I think 3.5 is definitely a good rating. I will say that it did wear on me a little bit as the match went on, how much they were talking about Dean Malenko on commentary and everything. But, to understand why it was the way it was, you had to, at least watch the pay-per-views, and even more the Dynamites, with everything else that we had said. And obviously Dean at the time, was not able to challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship again, as long as Jericho was champion and all of this. Yeah, I mean, it was a 3.5 all day long.
Great storytelling.
I'll go with that too. I'll go 3.5. That seems like a pretty good assessment on this match.
I'm a little nervous now.
Oh no. I literally just cracked open. Don't say it. Yep.
Cheers, boys. We got a clusterfuck.
Bitch. I just hope.
I just poured mine too, man.
I gotta step away real quick. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
We love you, brother. We'll see you soon. Yeah. Plus, just in time to dodge the clusterfuck. I'm gonna have to grab another beer for this one, but we got a couple matches left. This next match, oh my goodness, this is the NWO Invitational Battle Royale.
No,
which
plus Goldberg.
With Goldberg, I'll let you know who's in it. Let me tell you who's in it. Here.
No,
I'm gonna go grab a beer. We got Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Conan, Kurt Hennig, Sting, and Scott Norton for some reason. Lex Luger, and then the Giant.
Scott Norton
and Goldberg.
Pause. You stop it with Scott Norton. He's a former IWGP heavyweight champion.
But he wasn't
cocksucker.
But...
He's no, you shut up. He's the same as Shinsuke or Okada. He held that same belt.
Scott Norton wasn't in the match though, but he was in the match.
Oh fuck! I forgot he wasn't in the match.
But he was in it. I'm just saying it was weird. He ran in or some shit like that. But yeah, Battle Royale.
Yeah, just go grab your beer. I'll cover.
I'm gonna grab
a
beer.
Yeah, I'll cover this one for both of us. Yeah, no, this match was totally worthless. It was NWO versus the Wolfpack, which even at the time kind of made no sense. Wolfpack was face. The NWO proper black and white was heel. So you had two different NWOs fighting, and then Goldberg for no reason, who at the time was the heavyweight champion, but they couldn't figure out anything better for him to do. So you had this slow, clunky, plotting battle royale where
Kevin Nash eliminated himself.
Scott Hall was drunk as fuck. Kevin Nash.
Oh my God, Scott was wasted. He did that promo at the beginning.
Yeah, he is. One more for the good guys.
Yeah, and then people were obviously not there for them. They were
Scott Hall. Well, no, he did that shit he did that shit every year though.
But
I mean, he always
still it was just
it literally only existed to put Goldberg over, which he could have just had a match and done.
He could have had a squash match against.
I mean, this is a dud, right? Because there wasn't anything egregious, but it was so unnecessary. Literally,
and there was
nothing because again,
it was a battle royale that won with a pinfall.
Yeah, and Goldberg isn't even in most of the match. He just stands there and watches, which is smart.
Oh my God.
Actually,
That's all. They
no,
wouldn't
no.
shut the fuck up about how smart he was.
But
Do you remember?
yeah.
He's so smart. Oh, he's big.
I
Oh, he's strong. He's smart.
I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'll give it a 0.25 for Bill Goldberg actually acting in a smart fashion.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. I give him that for the jackknife on fucking Big Show. That was pretty impressive. What else? One thing I did notice here is they build. Let me just make sure I get this number right, because it was a little surprising to me, and maybe it was true, but I don't think so. I don't fucking think so. Kevin Nash was billed at 325 pounds. I'm like,
wow.
really? And I was looking it up, and it doesn't look like he ever hit that. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Yeah, Wolfpack versus Black and White NWO versus Goldberg. In a battle royale for nothing. 0.25 for me too. It was bad. Nash eliminated himself.
I'm gonna be a little bit more generous and give it half a star, just simply for the Goldberg jackhammer on the Giant, because 18-year-old me was blown away by that.
Well, okay. Well, all of us gave it less than our good friend Dave, who gave it 1 star.
Oh.
I know, right? Crazy.
Speaking of less than 1 star, we're on to our main event of the evening.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
We're almost done talking about this show.
Yeah.
It's Jay Leno and DDP versus Bischoff
Hogan
and Hogan.
Bischoff. Terrible. The only good thing about this was Miss Elizabeth looked great. And I love DDP. And I can never
had a band for Jay Leno, man.
You know what? And credit where credit's due.
He had a nice diamond cutter.
He had a nice diamond cutter, and he was exactly where he needed to be when he needed to be there. That motherfucker was on point. Like, credit where credit's due. He did exactly, like, he's a musician. Maybe timing is his thing, but yeah, I was impressed by that. And I was like, God damn, this motherfucker is big. Like, this motherfucker is jacked. He looks like Virgil, but with talent.
Yeah, I mean, but the whole thing was just ridiculous. You had points where Jay Leno is beating up Hulk Hogan and Bischoff is beating up DDP. There was so much chicane around the outside with Brutus Beefcake,
and it went on forever.
You were talking about Leno beating up on Hogan, and the scary thing was Hogan was selling it.
Yep.
Yeah, and Hogan didn't sell for anybody.
Yep. Crazy. But again, DDP, man, like, he is involved in these legendary awful matches, right? Think about it. This one tonight, the one with fucking Dennis Rodman or whatever, and Karl Malone or whatever.
And that was the month before.
Yeah. Well, and then David Arquette. Like,
if they're going to put a celebrity right with a babyface at the time, the only constant, I don't want to say constant, but the only the only babyface that they could really trust who was at that level, who could be in a match with Hogan that was was DDP. I mean,
for a guy who started wrestling in his 40s, it's incredible. Like, absolutely incredible. Like, shout out to that dude.
But this match was terrible.
Yeah, I give it a half star just because I love DDP. DDP saved Scott Hall and Jake the Snake's lives.
Great documentary, by the way. The resurrection of Jake the Snake.
I love him, man. I genuinely think he's one of
a genuinely good dude.
He's like Mick Foley, and it's hard to give him anything other than that. But
I mean, I think honestly though, I think a half star is a legit rating, because there was actual effort from the band director. There was actual effort from Hogan, which is weird to see. I
gotta put over Jay Leno, pal.
And Jay Leno was awful, right? His strikes were terrible, but
he was still better than Bischoff.
No,
Oh
Jay
god,
Leno.
Bischoff with those fucking bullshit karate kicks was driving me crazy.
I mean, and again, Jay Leno and Eric Bischoff both understood what they needed to do, and at least both attempted.
Yeah.
And again, there wasn't anything, I mean, the whole match was egregious, but there wasn't a spot where I was like, this has gone too far. Why are they doing this? You know what I mean? They kept everything simple, and it still looked like shit. But, at the time for what WCW was doing, this was not the worst outcome.
And credit to Leno for making it look like, I mean, for doing the best he could and like going in there and being way out of his depth and being better than, a lot of celebrities we've seen in wrestling matches.
He played the crowd, he did what he knows how to do, and he worked people, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
and for being a guy that I can't stand, I actually left being like a little impressed with like his what he did, but it was still trash.
All right, DDJ rating,
quarter star.
Well, 1.25 from Meltzer.
Oh,
negative 1.25.
No, just a 1.25, man.
He gave that one and
he kind of liked it, yeah.
All right, boys. Quick rating for this show. I give it like a 1. Don't watch it. I mean, there are a couple. I mean, there are definitely some good things, but the bad stuff is
far outweighs the good.
You kind of, I don't know. I kind of want to. I want to give it a 1, but I want to give it a 1 with a caveat that it's a pay-per-view that you should watch. I think you should watch this because it's kind of the beginning of the end of WCW. I think this is kind of a turning point for them. And like I know everyone points to the one when Foley wins the championship, and that is like the moment.
And the finger poke of doom.
But
97.
But this right here is like such a fucking just like clusterfuck of every kind of proportion that shows like Bishop going in the ring, to fight a fucking guy from TV because this is what they think is a good idea, and it really is just like a sign of things to come from WCW. And I think it's an important pay-per-view in that sense.
I mean, and
it's
to
bad,
be fair, there is enough good sprinkled. I mean, the
Hoovy versus Jericho you should definitely watch.
There are 3 legitimately good matches. Man.
Yes, absolutely. So there's that. So there's
I mean, it's a 1, but like a watch it 1.
So speaking of watch it, we're gonna watch WrestleMania 39 tonight.
Yep.
Night 1 of WrestleMania. Holy shit, that means we're going to 40?
Yeah.
We're going to 40, bro. We're going to 40.
The countdown to Philadelphia begins.
All right. So here we are. WrestleMania 39, night 1. Now here's the thing is they've released the matches that are going to be on the card for night, but I don't know if we really know the order of them.
Well, I think
Austin Theory versus Cena starts it off, and then just read them.
Let's just start with that.
I think I had heard Javon was saying in our show chat. I guess they confirmed on NXT today that Rhea versus Charlotte was main eventing night 1.
Okay,
that's
a bad idea.
That's so fucked.
That's terrible.
It should be the versus Sammy and Kevin.
1,000,000%.
It's the biggest story they've ever done. I mean, it's incredible.
There's nothing I want to see more than Sammy and Kevin hugging it out with fireworks going off to end the night. So that way, eventually, when they break up, they can go headline 3 to 4 shows and just burn everything down around them.
Yes, absolutely. The only way to do it. But we'll start with Austin Theory and John Cena for the U.S. Championship.
DDJ, who you got?
Even though I'm wearing this pretty awesome John Cena shirt, I bought my son one of these too because he's really getting into John Cena. But sadly, he's not wearing this today because he's been at grandma's and stuff. So, but I'm going Austin Theory. I think this is the start of his ascent to the main event scene.
Yeah, the only way I see Cena winning this is if he loses it tomorrow night on Raw. I just don't think Cena is able to do the schedule in which he needs to do to build stories for that belt and defend the belt. And I think honestly that he himself knows that. I think that this is a gigantic win for Austin Theory, especially because he got, verbally dominated by Cena a couple weeks ago on Raw.
I think that's being generous to how badly he got.
Yeah.
That's being
generous. And let's be honest here, Theory doesn't even have to win clean. Even if he wins dirty, he still fucking beat John Cena one-on-one. It doesn't matter, right? Like, Cena losing doesn't hurt him at all. He's still John Cena. Theory has a lot to gain. And
Cena lost the Firefly Funhouse match, for fuck's sake. He can lose anything he wants, and he'll still be John Cena.
so you've got Theory, Isaac.
Okay, here's the thing. Up until I read a dirt sheet report that Vince McMahon was taking over creative again after Mania. I read that, and that's what makes me think Austin Theory is going to win. Up until then, my theory was John Cena was going to win and then go back to doing the Open Challenge United States Championship on Monday Night Raw, in which he would lose to somebody else. And that was a way to get the belt off of Austin Theory and make someone else in the process. But I don't know who that someone else would be.
I have a theory, no pun intended, on who that would be if that scenario played out.
Okay, who do you think?
Someone who just recently lost the title earlier this afternoon. I could see it easily being Braun Breaker debuting on the main roster.
Okay, that's a really good one. The one I would want to see is I would love to see Chad Gable come and take it off him. That would be my preference, but
let me hit you with something real quick.
Yeah.
So why can't Theory beat Cena by cheating, get overly confident, right? And just say, well, I beat him at WrestleMania. I can do an open challenge. And then Braun can go, Braun can come and take it off there. You know what I mean?
That's very well doable as well, too. I could see that. I could see
be fine, but it's not beating Cena for the championship. It's not even close.
Well,
he beat Austin Theory to get that belt.
Yeah, but regardless, Theory cannot handle losing this match. Like honestly, like I think if Theory loses this, his momentum is literally halted.
Yeah, and I think he wins. I do think he wins, but I don't know if it's the right move. I think using John Cena. I mean, maybe Theory is that guy, but I don't know, man. I don't see it. I mean, he's great, but he's not the guy.
I mean,
he's a great mid-card heel.
Then Braun Breaker can't be the guy either. Like I like Braun Breaker a ton, but Braun Breaker is just another Steiner. You know what I mean?
I want to see Chad Gable, so I don't know.
Chad Gable's not going to happen, buddy. I'm sorry.
I know it's not. I know it's not. We could do a belt. We could do a belt collector though, and have fucking Gunther come out and fucking whoop Cena's ass.
I would love that. That is the only way I would accept Cena winning is if Gunther comes out and takes the other title.
All right, so we got one playable option. We got to make it interesting. I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm gonna say Cena wins. Okay. We got 2 for Austin. We got 1 for Cena here. All right. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley.
Rhea.
How do you not let her win?
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be explained. Charlotte's run has been pretty much nothing.
And what does she gain from it at this point? She's already got the crazy number of women's championships. She's already got all the accolades she needs. She's there. They built her up as a person for other women to beat, so they can have some cred.
And again, they need to right the wrongs from a couple years ago.
Yeah, and even so, like, Rhea's as hot as she's ever been since she's been on the main roster.
In every fucking sense of the word, too. God damn.
The pictures of her with the hair down from the Hall of Fame last night where she's just smiling at the camera. Like,
speaking of that, Rhea in the Hall of Fame, how fucking funny was it when they showed her and Dom sitting together that Buddy Murphy was sitting
yeah, dude. And then they get up and walk out during the
when they get up and walk out,
and Buddy's still sitting.
Buddy Murphy was mysteriously replaced by Damian Priest.
That's funny.
But
what
like,
about
if Charlotte wins, you run the risk of undoing all the work you've put into Rhea, and she's put in the work
you
to say, I mean,
can't.
fuck, she went along with Liv Morgan, who I'm pissed that they don't give Liv Morgan as much credit as Rhea for going, because they basically went the same amount of time in the Rumble, just Rhea happened to win. You know, they went over an hour.
And I'm gonna tip my cap a little bit here, but Triple H has put so much effort into Judgment Day. I mean, they are plastered on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown when they go over there. I mean, I'm talking.
They're going to be plastered in Mania this weekend.
Usually, at least a match a card. You know, at least a match every Monday Night Raw, and obviously if they're on SmackDown, it's probably a match as well. And then there's usually multiple backstage segments, or they're doing the stuff with Ray or whatever. I think that Judgment Day runs the table this year.
That's
I think
not
that they
even
win
including all the fucking and the real shit is all the social media shit with Dom Mysterio and Ray Ripley. That's the assault. No, they both did, but Dom Mysterio is over in like such a weird way, right? Like nobody really gives a shit about.
It's almost X-Pac heat, but it's not.
But people love him. People like him. But people also like him.
Almost X-Pac heat, but it's not quite there yet.
Isaac, we all know that's what prison time does to you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You get the teardrop tattoo. But anyways,
true. I wasn't in prison though. I was only in central booking. I didn't even end up in jail, really.
You're too drunk.
I wasn't drunk. I was sober, bro. Bro, I got stop and frisked outside of a gambling club in New York City, right? And when they grabbed me, I had a bag of weed in my pocket. So they were like, "Oh, we're gonna give you a summons, and you just have like a quick court date. That's it." But they fucked up the bust on the gambling den. So they brought me to fucking Central Booking in Queens. Like they drove me around in a paddy wagon for like 4 hours in the middle of the night, picking up transvestite hookers, right? Because they had to go back to the fucking precinct with collars, right? Because they fucked up the bus. They were embarrassed. You could hear them talking about it when I was sitting in the back. So they're not driving. They arrest me and they arrest fucking like 4 transvestite hookers. Trans hookers. Sorry, is that? I don't even know if that's a proper word anymore. Anyway, I'm in Central Booking for that. This is the good part of the story. I'm in with Sal. There's a guy. He comes in. He's like a Korean fella, right? He comes in. He starts talking about like, hey, I feel like I'm in a TV show or a movie, right? I'm the new guy, and it's fucking Friday night. We're in fucking Jamaica, Queens, right? And everyone's like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? Shut the fuck up. And the guy keeps talking. He's talking about how he got arrested, which is he like stopped somebody who was pissing in the street, and he was like, you shouldn't pee in the street because you might get arrested for it. And the guy got pissed because he's like being accosted with his dick out, right? And so like the cops ended up getting called. This guy gets thrown in jail. He's talking about how he comes to America, which is like via sex trafficking. And he like, oh, I had to do porn with my sister. And yeah, okay, but this is it. This is the moment. And I'm sorry, but this is the greatest moment of my life when I heard this sentence here, right? Because he says to in a cell with about 25 people, it's a cell, it's like maybe like 12 by 15 feet before everyone's processed. And he asks this question to just to the room. He says, sometimes when I make masturbation, I put a finger in my ass. Does that make me gay? Which, you know, you can imagine the response, but I'll never forget that shit because, like, not only was the question ridiculous, but sometimes when I make masturbation, as if he's making a fucking pie. Anyway,
maybe a warm apple pie.
That was masturbation. What's the next match?
that was Central Booking, not jail. We got the next one on the list is Usos versus Sammy and KO. Sammy and KO have to win this.
Yeah, Sammy and KO, it's a must, right?
I agree with you, but I think this would be an interesting way to kind of proceed with this bloodline story. I'm officially picking Sammy and KO, but what if like the Usos retain and then Roman loses, and then Roman's still trying to do his head of the table gimmick? The Usos can go to him and be like, "Hey, we retained our titles. Where's yours?"
So as much as I like that, the only thing I want to see is Sammy and Kevin with the titles, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, because honestly, Sammy got shafted, right? Sammy got shafted by Cody, like 1,000,000%, because it really should be Sammy taking the belt off of Roman, right? That's what it should be.
It's
I don't know
tough.
if I necessarily agree with that, but
Oh.
I think they're making the right move, but man,
I think so too.
the timing sucks.
I think that
Yeah.
they're totally making the right move. I think that Cody is much more well prepared at this point to be the world heavyweight champion and to hold that belt. But if you look at the storyline, right? The storyline says Sammy should take the belt off of Roman 1,000,000%.
But the long term story of Cody leaving WWE,
But that has
writing the
nothing.
name,
It has
and that's the
nothing
thing, is that story is way more
in that.
compelling to me.
But that could help, and I mean that could happen at literally any point in time, right? That
But
doesn't need to be.
it has to happen at Mania. It has
Right,
to
but it
happen
could be
at Mania.
next year's Mania. But regardless,
It
Sammy,
could be, but I don't think it would work. I don't think it would work. I don't think it would have the same effect with Cody winning next year. And I'm saying that as someone who agrees with you that with the momentum and the push, like Sammy is getting fucking robbed. Like he was in the right place, the right guy, the right place at the wrong time.
yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to, and it sucks for him. But I do think that the moment of Cody standing at the end of Mania with the belt held high is one of the best wrestling stories of our generation. From him leaving WWE as fucking Stardust to holding the belt up that his dad never won.
Sure. I agree.
I don't know. It's a great story.
Sammy deserves this.
Yes,
Kevin Owens to a lesser extent, but Kevin Owens also deserves, that moment.
Kevin got his moment last year, though. Kevin got the moment, the best thing you could ever get.
Which, by the way,
deserves
guys,
every moment at Mania they can give him.
If you haven't seen it, watch the latest WWE 24 documentary on last year's WrestleMania. They devote a lot of time to KO versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it was some really good stuff.
Nice.
I've not seen it. I'll have to watch that. That's very.
I watched it. I think it was sometime. It must have been yet. No, I don't know when I watched it. I watched it sometime yet over the last couple of days and stuff. But I really, really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great match. It was so much fun. Like, credit to Stone Cold for being able to go at that
former
age.
$1 million champion.
Yeah, right. And and I was just saying too the other day that on my Mount Rushmore that Stone Cold is off and John Cena is on.
Ooh.
Well, speaking of off and on, what's the next match, Isaac?
Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus versus Damage Control. It's got to be
Becky in the Legends.
Yeah,
I think it's Becky, Lita, and Trish, and this is the beginning of the end of Damage Control as a group.
And it's a big.
And I also think it sets up for Ronda and Shayna, who will win tomorrow night's 4-way random match. I think that's a good way for them to get a title shot, and them at the next pay-per-view to take the titles off of Lita and Becky. But let's be honest here, nobody wants to see Damage Control win this. Like I love all three of those women, but their booking has been so inconsistent and so weird that it's
a shame. It's such a shame.
No, it is. But again, this is a real nice WrestleMania moment for Becky, obviously as a consolation prize for all three of Damage Control to be in a match with Trish and Lita. And this will probably be the last time you see Trish or Lita in a WrestleMania match.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's a pretty easy layup. You know what I mean? Let Becky do most of the work for the face team. Let Trish and Lita hit their,
their spots.
Yeah, get their spots in, sell a little bit, feel good win, go home, fine.
Facts.
EDJ, who do you have?
I got Becky, Lita, and Trish, and like I said, this is the beginning of the end of Damage Control. I think we see them. If they don't break up tonight, they'll break up like on Raw or whatever.
All right. We got Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins following that.
I think that this is the hardest one to predict.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
this match will steal the weekend.
I totally agree.
Yeah, this is the sleeper. This is the sleeper match of the weekend.
My heart says Seth, but honestly, my brain says Logan. If they want to keep Logan around for the long term and they want to continue using him in the way they're using him, he has to win at some point. And let's be honest. Let's be honest. If they're gonna have somebody be a doormat, it's Seth, right? Seth will put people over. Seth will drag him to, maybe the match of the weekend. But I gotta go with Seth, man. Seth hasn't had a quality win, especially at Mania, in years. I just think Seth, especially, I think he's going to turn face soon. I just think he needs a win over, especially over non-wrestler Logan Paul. Logan Paul can go and wrestle somebody else who's maybe a little bit farther down the card.
I believe the last time Seth won at WrestleMania is when he beat Brock for the Universal title.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that 14?
What's 14?
Like 2014.
2019.
Was that like 2019 when he beat
Brock for the Universal title?
Oh, the cash-in, right?
No, that was 2015.
Oh,
okay. Did he beat Brock somewhere in between? Okay, I totally forgot DDJ. But
yeah,
regardless,
I'm not. DDJ is Wikipedia, bro. Come on now. All right, so I'm gonna go with Logan on this one. I think he gets his big win at Mania.
I'm going with Seth freaking Rollins.
All right,
I think it's a 50-50 toss-up, honestly.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm just saying that to be the devil's advocate on this one. We got Ray versus Dom.
So anybody who thinks that Ray is going to win this is out of their fucking gourd. You are so crazy to think that Ray is going to win this. Dominic is
stupid.
Dominic is Ray's legitimate son. If you think that Ray is going to beat Dom at WrestleMania, I think you're fucking crazy. Like legitimately. People are so hyped, and harped in on Ray getting inducted. Like that happened regardless. Ray is not going to win. Like,
yep.
I don't think it's as far-fetched as you're saying it is. That being said, I fully expect Dom to go over here and stuff. And I might even take it a step further and say this would not be surprised if this is it for Ray.
No, I think it is. I think it is finally. I mean, come on. He lost an eye 2 years ago. He got thrown off a goddamn building. I mean, the fact that he's still wrestling today is incredible.
Hey,
not about when he got thrown off Titan Towers.
I'll never forget that. It was one of the worst
me neither.
I've ever seen.
It was so good.
Was the worst pay-per-view, man.
You shut your mouth.
Oh, it was so bad. So bad. But yeah. So that's that. We got one more match for the night, and that's Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Experience. Raiders.
I've got DDT and Braun.
Big Dick Trevor and Braun.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go. I want to say that
but Viking Raiders have an actual god with them. They have Valhalla.
The one that I think has a chance is Street Profits. But I don't know. That's
it'll
tough.
Be interesting for me. I think because I think these guys have been gold lately, and I think who my pick is. I'm going Alpha Academy.
Oh, I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. I'm gonna go. Street Profits. Street Profits, final answer. Alpha Academy, and we have Braun and the big dick fella. So that's our predictions for WrestleMania. It starts in about 15 minutes, guys.
We're gonna hop off and
We're
go
gonna
drink
hop off.
more.
We're gonna go drink more. We're gonna watch this
Hey,
shit.
Johnny Knoxville's at WrestleMania.
Damn it.
Johnny's in WrestleMania. He was there last year. DDJ, what's going on? What's going on with you for WrestleMania? Are you doing something with the Johners, folks? Is there anything happening there?
Well, I was gonna hop on. They were originally John was supposed to originally do a like a live reaction stream to the show, and I was gonna hop on for a little bit, but just due to some other commitments and stuff, he had messaged me a few days prior and told me that the live reaction stream wasn't gonna happen. But me, Giovanni Tuhati, and the Silver Wolf Sean are gonna be going live after Mania to give our thoughts on night one, and then we're also going to give our predictions for tomorrow's night two.
All right, man. So tune in for that. You'll be able to find it wherever you get shooting shit, which part of the Johners Podcasting Network, which we're also a part of. Who knows? Maybe I'll be extra fucked and stuffed by that point and just jump on because I have admin access and they can't really kick me out. So
yeah, I'm like,
with that power play.
Yeah.
I kind of did the same thing, so I really can't say anything.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't going to mention it, but I was like, you just jumped in here, man.
But see, I knew you would be happy. I did it for.
Of course, I'm happy.
I didn't do it for The Rock. I did it for you.
Good.
I did it for The Rock.
You did it for the cock. That's good.
I never said that. I just said I did it for you.
It's okay. It's okay. I said it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night.
I'm Shane Isaac, DDJ.
And also join Shane, myself, and Jovan, and whoever else might join tomorrow night, same time, 6:00, as we dive into night two. I'm sure we'll give our
not Road Wild.
Yeah, and we'll give a little bit
of. Are you guys just strictly doing previews?
Yeah, I think we're gonna do a little preview, maybe a little reaction, but we'll probably save the ratings for the following week.
Okay,
but I don't know. We don't fucking know, man. We don't know.
I don't have anything planned for tomorrow, so
all right.
Well, you'll see DDJ tomorrow night too.
I sure fucking hope
you probably will.
I sure hope so. We love you. Have a great night.
You guys too.
Happy WrestleMania weekend.
Enjoy it,
to
everybody.
you all.